Hi there, and welcome to Enterprise AI Defenders, a show that highlights how enterprise security executives are using innovative technologies to stop the most sophisticated cyber attacks. In each episode, Fortune 500 CISOs share how AI has changed the threat landscape, real-world examples of modern attacks, and the role AI can play in the future of cybersecurity. I'm Evan Reiser, the founder and CEO of Abnormal Security.
And I'm Mike Britton, the CISO of Abnormal Security. Today on the show, we're bringing you a conversation with Gene Sun, Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer at FedEx. FedEx is a multinational courier delivery services company with over $90 billion in annual revenue and over 500,000 employees globally. With billions of packages delivered every year using the world's largest cargo fleet, FedEx uses sophisticated technology to provide a unique delivery service to customers across the globe. In this conversation, Gene discusses industry shifts from isolated point solutions to powerful AI-driven platform strategies, AI as a growing tool for both attackers and defenders, and predictions for the future of AI-powered cyber defense.
First of all, Gene, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I know you're super busy. Love maybe to kick off for you to give our audience a little bit of background about kind of your career, maybe how you ended up where you are today in your current role at FedEx.
Well, first of all, thank you, Evan and Mike, to have me on. I'm thrilled, to be here with you guys and share, kind of like what we all face in the cybersecurity. As far as myself, when you think about my career, I actually not grew up in America. I grew up in China. So, I came here for the graduate school in University of Memphis. Funny thing is, in FedEx, you will find very common, lots of people join FedEx as an intern. So I joined FedEx as an intern, with my background as a EE electrical engineering, engineer. So I started my career not in the information security area. I was hired as a software developer for our e-commerce application. And so I worked pretty much, I think that's one of the beauty when you work for a huge global Fortune 50 company, you don't have to leave your company to experience different part of the technology or different part of business. Even though I started my career as a developer for e-commerce. So I did application development for the back office, for sales automation. I did my career, I ran FedEx global infrastructure. You can think about the router, switch, phone system. And before I joined information security organization as a CISO about 5 years ago.
Do you mind sharing a little bit more about just some things about, FedEx that probably the average person might not appreciate, maybe even the average FedEx customer?
The scale of FedEx operation is just massive. There are a few statistics I always use. We have over 200,000 motorized vehicles worldwide. We have almost 700 airplanes worldwide. We're larger than most domestic airlines you can think of, our number of airplanes we have. We have physically almost 6,000 physical locations, stations, hubs, office locations worldwide. We have over 500,000 team members worldwide. So, one of the things probably categorize FedEx is our massive scale and how big our, use cybersecurity terminologies, how big our attack surfaces is. So I think that's probably one of the very prominent, characteristic of our program here.
When you think about the next, maybe couple years, right? Imagine we're sitting here in 3 years, right? We're meeting with a handful of your peers. What are some of the things you think people will say that they're really happy they overinvested a little bit back in 2024?
I think one of the things we are moving away, even within my program is, for the past 10 years, we as a security organization, we have always go to the market, look at the different technology providers for the pointed solutions. And we also pride ourselves find the pointed solutions for specific problems. But moving forward, I think, in this whole AI-driven world, I think you will be winner take all. Moving forward, I think, we as a technology practitioners, we need to carefully think about what are the larger platforms we have to make bets on. Because, it's just there always going to be innovative company or startup coming up. But if you don't have the scale or the data points to train your AI model to provide the AI empowered services, I think that's going to be fall behind. So that's one of the things one of the things I advise my team as well as advise my peers. It is be careful who you are making bets on, because this disruptive forces called AI is coming, and there are lots of hypes for that. But when you look at it down the road, that AI will fundamentally reshape both offense and defense side of the information security.
Gene, you kind of brought this interesting point about this winner take all dynamic. Do you mind kind of explain what you mean by that? Right? Is it the way I interpret it was there's going to be some platforms which get a little bit ahead. They will get more data, work with more customers. That data and their customers allow them to invent more technology. They can better use their data. And so it's not about the future is not about the best point solution, but it's about the best platform that has that can accelerate their AI investments, because those will kind of snowball and then they become more dominant longer term, and therefore it'll be a better platform. Or maybe share more what you mean by the winner take all. It's kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah, because in the AI world, scale matters. Everybody knows. Big language model, big data platform. In order for your AI to work, that's why everybody is buying NVIDIA chips like crazy, because they need those horsepower, those investment to crunch those data points, to train the different iteration of the model itself. So, I think there is a little bit of controversy. I don't know if we can talk about that. It is, I'm sure you guys watched Eric Schmidt, his now famous interview at Stanford University, when he talked about, there's only so much player can afford remain in the AI race. And, to have a robust and useful AI model to sustain it, it's expensive. Economics dictate you have to pour all your investment to aggregate into a few players to do so. For the cybersecurity, it will be the similar things. At least that's my belief. I think there will be only a couple of large cybersecurity platforms will survive and will provide the fundamental engine, fundamental platform for all other additional innovation will spawn up or spawn off from those platforms, cybersecurity or security related AI models.
Are there any just thinking this concept of winner take all is important, because that means if you kind of pick the wrong winner, right? You could be on this multi-year journey that's a dead end. You have to end up kind of unwinding a little bit, right? So there's probably a lot of consideration that security leaders need to think about as they choose the right technologies, the platforms, right? And this applies to, I'm sure the team as well. What are some the intangibles, right? You have 5 vendors that all do the exact same thing, right? What are some of the intangible, their product does the exact same thing. What are some of the intangibles that you look for in terms of the culture, the vision, the ambition, the level of partnership of customer service? What are some of those things that you think are going to become disproportionately important for security teams, right, as they work with their vendors, right, in this new era?
Well, I, as a CISO, when I look at my team, even my team, lots of times, you guys probably know this as well, our security practitioners love their tools and love their features. So, when you use your analogy of 5 technology security providers may have 5 tools for, typically we do those kind of bake off or, those kind of comparison. I think right now we should seriously give this weight of time snapshot of the feature comparison. Because, those one point is those vendors, they leapfrog each other all the time. So when you compare those kind of bake-offs, it is only a one-time snapshot. So that's one point. The second point, like you said, when the end game is going to be large AI model will empower most of those tools 5-10 years from now on, It is really look at deeper under the hood. Who are the players within this company? How deeply they are connected to the larger ecosystem of other large players. Also look at how much they are thinking about growing their capability as a larger model, and are they ambitious enough to become one of the winner-take-all survivors? So those are the larger considerations I think we need to make.
How do you see attackers and cyber criminals also leveraging AI? Because with everything that we can use it for positive, they're pretty creative in figuring out negative ways to use it. Where do you think the attacks are going to go? How do you think they're going to leverage AI for bad purposes?
So when you compare today's phishing emails we receive versus 10 years ago, 10 years ago, we all, as a security practitioners, we kind of like shame our, colleagues who click on phishing email, kind of like, hey, this email got an obvious spelling error or grammar problems. Why did you fall for that thing? We all have all those jokes, and we got a lot of mileage out of, joking to our CFO or whoever who click on fell for those kind of scam. But today, I can pretty much guarantee you all those phishing emails are generated by large language model. And every single email we have looked at it, they are all with perfect grammar and perfect English and perfect language, whoever the target audience are. No longer have grammar error or spelling error. Great context and everything else make it harder to detect. So that's one example. Another example we are starting to saying, it is one of the responsibility, within my team's area is we are also responsible for FedEx shipping fraud. There are lots of people, bad guys, criminal organization wants to defraud FedEx. They want shipping for free without paying us. And they want to find our customers valuable merchandise and try to steal it. So you can view this as a fusion of cybersecurity and physical security together. So my team does this. And what we are starting to say is, there are cyber criminals using AI technology to generate counterfeit FedEx shipping labels. When you think about this. And back then, in order to create a counterfeit FedEx shipping label, you need to have basic programming skill and knowledge to decode our tracking numbers to be able to generate good and readable barcode for shipping barcode and everything else. Now, all those AI removed those kind of all the technology requirements, and criminals are increasing their velocity and to perpetrate those kind of crimes and those kind of activity. So those are just some of the specific example.
I think what I heard you say is like these AI technologies are now kind of reducing the barrier required to participate in crime. And so to what extent do you think that, AI allows more people to be criminals, right? And if that's true, right, then what happens when there's AI, AI is now creating more criminals that can send more sophisticated attacks faster and more effectively. Where does that take us, right? 5 years from now, what are the kind of implications of that, right? At the civilizational level in terms of how we fight against crime?
So there's a saying in my organization, it's accepted fact. It takes AI to fight AI. Another point, also we always knew this. I think it's public information. FedEx, we were victim, our European operation about 6 years ago, the NotPetya attack. We went back and did forensics. When FedEx TNT was attacked through the MEDOC application in Ukraine, we did a timestamp as well as forensics of every single step. So we measured when the update gets pushed into that single machine in FedEx TNT estate in Ukraine, within 5 minutes, entire worldwide TNT, 60,000 Windows PCs and machines and servers were bricked. So that was a velocity of propagation. So when you think about in that world, human beings cannot respond fast enough in that period to stop that spread. But I do believe there is an opportunity to use AI defenses to detect, hey, there's something wrong going on here. Let's deploy some countermeasure, deploy some blocking, deploy some kind of segmentation. At least that's my hope, to use AI-powered tools to defend or slow down those kind of propagation and mitigate and reduce our risk in the future.
So actually, I agree with you on that, Gene. I think that, but I don't know if that's yet a common view, right? I think that's still a slightly contrarian view, but I think it's growing. But, if that is all true, like, again, what are the implications on, the paradigm of how we do security, right? There's cybersecurity as a civilization, right? So forget vendors, forget customers, forget like the industry, but at the civilization, like, we have to go stop against these attacks. And if we're going to a mode where there's more of these kind of AI powered attacks, right now, kind of the paradigm for defense is you hire 100 analysts and you figure out all your systems and you dump all your data in your SIM and you create a bunch of alerts and people go through and they look at these things and there's a lot, it's very reliant on human analysis and human judgment, right? And that's worked, that worked probably much better 10 years ago than it is today. But if we're going to the world you described, right, that seems like it becomes decreasingly effective. Yet, I don't know, we're not really on that great track as a civilization to like build a good AI to fight the bad AI, or at least the bad AI is being built a little bit faster, right? Because the criminals are more faster to adopt technology.
Well, I remain to be optimistic in the society. When you look at human history, we face so many different challenges, so many disruption of technology. Somehow we survive and somehow we prospered as a race. So I remain optimistic about our future.
Likewise.
With that said, I think, of course, if you are into the cybersecurity risk management area, you don't put all your eggs into a single basket, right? We will rely on AI tools to fight AI, but we have other measures. We have our business continuity measures. We have our disaster recovery measures. We have our plan B, plan C, plan D. All those require human intervention and require people to think through. Those require people understand FedEx business and FedEx technology estate to design those. So that's one, I remain to be optimistic. I think, and the bad guys may find innovative use cases and to gain temporary advantage, but I do believe, good guys will catch up, will beef our defenses, and I think at the end we'll come out ahead.
So maybe on the optimistic theme, like, what are some of the areas that you think AI can have the biggest impact on security in the short term? And actually, I'd love to hear almost your contrarian view, like, where do you think it will have a bigger impact than maybe some of your peers do? Or what do you see as the big opportunities that are maybe underappreciated by the average security team or security leader?
Well, I think, there are also some kind of fear within the entire human society about AI will replace all the human beings doing the work. I think, I have this saying, I don't know if anybody heard me saying this before. AI will not replace your job. People who knows how to use AI will replace your job.
We have the same saying in our company too.
Yeah. So that's how I think about this whole our future and how we design, how we operate, and how we talk to our practitioners in this space. I remain to be extremely bullish on how AI can take us. I believe, for example, use my NotPetya example. I believe AI with human oversight can really increase velocity of our today's defense. We have to do that. We got to get there. Human beings cannot respond fast enough. So I'm very bullish on that. The second area I'm very bullish on that, on the AI's capability, it is AI combined with large data model sitting on top of my FedEx data model. I remain very bullish of AI be able to tell me what is normal for every single human behavior, machine behavior, and application behavior, and to tell me, raise a flag on what's abnormal. That's not an intent to promote your brand, but it is what's abnormal. I think that's the future of cybersecurity. It is what is normal and detect everything that's abnormal, and to use AI to deploy countermeasure as well as to respond in a swift fashion. I remain extremely bullish in that regard.
Yeah, I would say on the flip side, I think AI has a lot of use cases, a lot of problems to solve. Where are maybe some areas where maybe the promises of AI might be a little overhyped, or maybe not necessarily deliver the same results?
I don't know if will not deliver the same results. When you think about this, I use an analogy of internet. When you were in the year 2000, if you are old enough like myself, you saw the internet .com bubble burst. And there were lots of people kind of like doomsday say, okay, it was overhyped, overpromised. But when you look back 24 years since 2020, all the promise of e-commerce and .com, 5G and everything else, all those predictions became reality. And it just did not come in the time horizon most bullish people were predicting. So, I'm taking a little bit contrary view of that. I think all those predictions will come true. It's just the time horizon may not be some people predicted.
That's so true. Actually, that's such a good point, because even the most bullish prediction of the internet in 1990 or 1995, right, we've surpassed those.
Oh, yeah, we absolutely blew those. Absolutely blew those.
Like, no one would even believe, right, that, we're going to do we're going to create a recording of a show together without ever meeting in person, right? We wouldn't have believed that, right, 30 years ago, right? That was beyond the fantasies of the early internet pioneers. So your kind of point is like, there's some similarity there with AI, right? Yeah, it may not happen the first 10 years, but if you kind of zoom out a little bit, take a longer term perspective on, civilizational advancement, like, yeah, maybe it takes 20 years, maybe it takes 30 years, but these things are likely to come, we probably will outpass even our own expectations.
Yeah, we will find, here's my prediction of AI. I will say majority of today's AI prediction may not be, operationalized in next 3 years. You may find additional use case gets operationalized as AI, but every single prediction probably will get operationalized in next 20 years.
All right, so in the last 5 or 10 minutes, what we'd like to do is a bit of a lightning round. So we're kind of looking for like the one tweet answers. These questions are probably possible to actually do that for us. So, but yeah, see if you can try to kind of keep it, really short. And maybe Mike, do you want to kick it off for us?
So what's one piece of advice you'd give to a security leader as they step into their very first CISO job? Maybe something they would overestimate or underestimate about the role.
The first advice, it is, as a CISO working for a business, the number one currency you have is your credibility. Make sure you maintain your credibility with business. Sometimes we as a cybersecurity leaders, we always bias towards risk is overriding else. But just remember, you are supporting a business. Make sure you are balanced and you're credible.
What do you think will be true about AI's future impact on cybersecurity that most other people would think is science fiction today?
Well, like I said, I'll say AI empowered response without human intervention. Many people don't believe that. Many people don't feel comfortable doing that. That has to be.
So on a more personal note, what's a book that you've read that's had a big impact on you, and why?
Well, it was many years ago. I read a book called Guns, Steel, and Germs. And that was a book to talk about how those kind of, one-time event or some of the X factors will fundamentally reshape human events and human society moving forward, or change the course of the human history. When you think about it, we as the risk managers typically deal with those kind of things, we always have to look out those kind of unintended X factors.
Okay, so maybe for the final question, what advice would you share to inspire the next generation of security leaders?
Many people are scared and feared about security. Actually, cybersecurity is cool in a way. Call me a sick puppy, but especially like I said, in today's world, digital is the forefront of the revolution the society is going through, and cybersecurity is at the table for all those changes, because you have to make sure all those changes are safe and secure. So you get to experience and watch the transformation of entire society in a safe and secure manner in front of your eyes. So I think it's a very worthy career and very noble profession, at least in my mind.
Certainly a worthy mission, right? That we can all use some, all three of us, right? As recruiters, that mission, we're telling you guys, we need some help over here, right? It's a worthy cause. Well, Gene, thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, extremely impressive to hear, just more about FedEx and kind of the scale impact you guys are having. Very inspirational and personally exciting. Just hear about your views about the future, right? I share your optimism and looking forward to chat again soon.
Well, thank you, Evan and Mike. It's been fun, and let's all hope, we can get all the help we need.
That was Gene Sun, Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer at FedEx. I'm Mike Britton, the CISO of Abnormal Security.
And I'm Evan Reiser, the founder and CEO of Abnormal Security. Thanks for listening to Enterprise AI Defenders. Please be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Learn more about how AI is transforming the enterprise from top executives at enterprisesoftware.blog. This show is produced by Josh Meir. See you next time.